Hello friends, welcome back to another adventure at Honey Apple Farm. Believe it or not, there is still a little bit of harvesting left to be done, which for this girl raised in Wisconsin is pretty crazy that I'm out here. It is 37 degrees in the middle of December, actually the day before the solstice, and there's still stuff to harvest. So all of the stuff, all of the mint plants that were over there on the patio, I pulled out about a month ago, and I've let them be getting as much sun as they can, but we are going to have temperatures down at 0 and 15 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's below freezing. And mint is not meant to survive that kind of hard frost. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest. I have quite a lot of catnip. Catnip is an annual, it grows from seeds, so I'm just gonna cut these down and these are gonna be done for the year. But the lemon balm and the mint, peppermint, and the mint, which is behind me here off camera, those will come back in the spring. So I'm just going to cut back the vegetation, and all of this is going to go inside to be dried. So let's get to it. So this is what the before shots look like. This is one of the catnips. This is the original catnip that I planted seeds in each one of these little pockets. As you can see, it was quite prolific, and this is actually the third, I think, growth of the season. This, I just planted one same size container, and it's huge. I read online that catnip can get up to 3 feet wide and 3 feet tall, and I believe it. But unlike everything else in the mint family, they don't spread by runners. So it doesn't matter how big they get, they're just going to stay in that one spot, which is awesome. As you can see here from the mint, this is its second winter, and I probably should have come out here and harvested these a while ago. There's quite a lot of dead stuff here on the branches, but that's okay. They still smell minty. They're pretty much dehydrated already. And some of these I'm just going to use an extract, so it doesn't really matter if they're not in the best physical condition. Same thing here. You can tell the lemon balm. The lemon balm was huge and beautiful, and it's pretty much died all the way down, and there's a second growth coming up from the bottom. But again, no worries. We'll just take the dried bits off as already dried. And they may not be food grade, but we'll certainly use them in fusions and stuff. This is the peppermint. Also looking a little worse for the wear. You know, all things considered, they've been out here for multiple nights below 0, and they've been fine. And then these are the two smaller catnips, one per container, and as you can see, they've done okay. This one's got a crazy shape. You can see I came through here and cut off the stems earlier, and they've grown back in really weird, twisty ways. This one grew up down, that really nice thick new growth. It's all got to come out. Makes me sad. Start with the mint, which is pretty leggy at this point. I got this last year and I didn't do anything with it, and it died back in the winter and came back in the spring, which is awesome. But this year I actually want to do something with it. Okay, and after a little bit of work, we have a rough chopped, if you will, set of mint. Stripping them from the main branch did work. It's this pile over here, that's why I wanted to do that outside, but there's definitely still stems and stuff in here, so I'm gonna need to go through these again inside. So we're gonna keep moving. Okay, well, that took all of 30 seconds. I literally just went around and cut off everything where it was draping over the edge, like these guys. And I think I'm just gonna leave the rest. And you know, what happens, happens. I just put it all in a bowl here. This is all very viney. I haven't trimmed or anything. It's getting quite cold that my fingers are going numb, so I'm just gonna have to take this inside and continue stripping them indoors where there's warm and heat. But we need to do the lemon balm, so one last stop until we go back to warmth. Okay, and here is the after shot. You can see that there's still some way down to the ground. And I have one container. Underneath is the stuff that is food, is like infusion grade. And then I have a little bit of stuff at the top that I might dry for like cooking and stuff like that. So here's where we are. We have, at the end of the day, one container of lemon balm, 3 containers of rough cut, we'll call it that, spearmint, 1 bowl of completely still needs to be processed peppermint, and 1 mound of catnip that needs to be hung up to dry. So, not bad for the last harvest of the season. Let's do a little pan out here. Yeah, not bad for the last harvest of the season. My hands are cold and it's time to go in because we're losing the light. Okay, so here we are inside. My fingers have warmed up. They're doing that tingly feeling they do when they've been cold and get warm again. Darcy has already tried to check out the giant pile of catnip. He does have his own little bit down there, but he doesn't seem all that interested in it. No, you don't. So if anybody needs me for the next several hours, I will be sitting right there, picking these things, picking the mints off of the stems and getting them on trays to put in the dehydrator. And then when that is done, I will also be separating out the catnip that can be dehydrated right now because it's small and loose from the long branches, stalks, that are going to join their brethren up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Tower of Mint. And while lemon balm may not be mint to our taste buds, it is part of the mint family, so it totally counts. So we have 1 tray of culinary lemon balm, 1 tray of culinary mint, 1 tray of infusion grade lemon balm, and 2 trays of infusion grade mint. So what's left is still the giant pile of catnip and also the peppermint. I'm going to go ahead and watch some YouTube for a while and pluck the peppermint off, at least so that it's plucked and ready to go in the dehydrator when the dehydrator is available, which will hopefully maybe be tomorrow. We'll have to see. Ta-da! It doesn't look like much, but this is all of the mint leaves in one lovely, I'm not even sure what this is, some kind of popsicle stick like wood enclosure. No caterpillars in this lot, which is good because there were 2 caterpillars in the lemon balm and peppermint lots, or spearmint lots. So that was nice to have nothing creepy crawly in this batch. Hooray! The last great herb harvest of 2022 is complete. So we have, ta-da-ta-da, 2 containers of catnip leaves that are ready to go in the dehydrator. This is a full container of the dried catnip that was up on the wall. I had to take it down because I needed the space for the new stuff, which I'll show you in a minute. So this is all the stuff that's pretty much dry. I mean, the stems were so brittle that they just cracked in my hand, but I do want to run it through the dehydrator once more just to make sure everything is all nice and done. And then this is the peppermint from last night. So that's all done. Let me show you. We're calling this our Christmas Catnip Garland 2022. It's actually quite pretty with all that deep green on the wall. And of course it'll get lighter green over time. These are the bigger stalks that would have taken a long time to pluck apart. And so these will probably be hanging up and drying for a couple of months. And then sometime in, January, February, they'll be dry enough and I'll just be able to pull the leaves right off and run them through, and that'll be that. So oddly enough, Darcy has not. He could jump up. I mean, he can definitely stretch up to that doorknob, and he has tried to put his paws up a couple times, but he seems to be rather uninterested in these, especially as they start drying. So that's awesome. Thank you to our friend Ash and Peter for helping me pluck the final round of catnip leaves before we had dinner this evening, which is the reason that we have a clean table. This may not look exciting to you guys, but I kid you not, this table has not been this clean probably in at least 6 months. So we should have people over for dinner more often, I think, is what we have decided. So this is the great Christmas catnip garland of 2022. I'm excited to have this stuff all done and drying and to be able to give it to Darce over the winter. He's going to love it. Speaking of whom, get off the table! Off! All right, guys. I'm going to call it a night. I will see you soon in my next video. Bye for now. Oh my gosh. Sorry. This is the mountain of catnip, and this, happening live and in person, folks. He's not supposed to be on the table. Get off the table, please. Yes, I know it smells good, but get off the table.